with a little buttercup. What's he doing?
What'd you do?
I don't see nothing wrong.
I ain't gonna say anything. Do what you want. People will probably love that. Do what you want. What do I care?
Oh, all right, I'm passing out. I had too much air.
We're just gonna take this as it goes. All right, we are recording.
Oh, okay. I almost did something dirty.
I know. And Tristan was trying to be sneaky.
No, this is how it goes. We just flow into it.
I know,
Yeah.
but I saw that red light, and I was
I
like,
didn't see no red light.
I-
I'm colorblind. It's not fair.
Welcome to the Tay and Tristan Hour podcast.
yes. Hi.
I'm gonna get you, girl.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce our guest
Our-
this evening?
Our guest this evening is Johnny.
Johnny, hi, Mom. I don't know how to act.
And so Johnny was actually on our the first two episodes when the podcast was named the Uncommon Sense Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before you, Tristan,
Did it?
did the well, you were a part of the podcast, but you were working.
That's
And
what
so
it is.
me and Johnny, I was in a hurry to kind of get the podcast going.
Yeah, you just couldn't wait.
Well, I can be a little impatient, okay? I think we all can agree here in this room that I can be a little impatient
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah, we can
Yeah.
agree with that, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yes, we can.
So Johnny is here. Johnny's my husband. And Johnny's going to be sitting in.
Yeah, should be a fun episode.
I'm evaluating.
He may be sitting in on more than one episode.
Yeah.
Depends on how I act in this one, right?
I think it depends on Tristan.
What do you mean?
I mean, I gotta suck up to Tristan to stay on.
No.
I don't know, Tristan,
Not at all.
because Johnny had been wanting to do it before. I'm going to put Tristan on blast today because Johnny had wanted to do it, and then Johnny would be like, well, I want to do the
I
episode,
wanna
and
do it.
then Tristan would be like, well, I don't know, we'll see. So,
You must have saw the first podcast.
No. Those episodes were good. They were.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
speak closer to the microphone,
How
Johnny.
come I feel like that Saturday Night Live thing about the muffins
What muffins?
when they did this, you know?
Talking to
Saturday
the
Night Live.
microphone.
Okay.
There you
I am.
go. He's like, okay.
Okay.
I don't know. I think you're just old school, babe.
I could hear me wheezing. Take a hit.
Oh, yes. We're going to get into what our topic is. But yes, so Johnny's joining us today. And it's probably going to be on for future episodes as well, since I went out and bought an additional microphone and headphones,
Yep.
particularly for him so that he could join us or anybody else that we decide to have on as a guest.
Can't wait for Grandma to get on here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now that we got a third mic, she's got to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have to get Mom on. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
And it was interesting because I had mentioned something about that, Tristan didn't want to discuss something. We're going to be talking about addiction. He doesn't want to share any personal issues.
Well, no, I mean I can. It's just
But
we'll see.
Mom was like, he doesn't have to. So Mom is kind of like one of these that likes to say things in the background, but she doesn't want to be put in front of the camera. So we're going to have to put her on blast. One episode. So since we've got the extra headphones and microphone, yeah, she's going to have to do it.
I'd like
Yeah.
to talk to her on this. I'd like to put her on the spot. How come you don't like me?
You know what she would do?
She just goes, shut up.
She would roll her eyes. She'd be like, I
Yeah.
don't like, she's like, it's
Smack
not
her
that
lips.
I don't like you. She would be like, this has nothing, you know what she would tell you? This has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. Why are you butting in?
This has nothing to do with you. I'm talking to Shantae. Tristan.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Shantae.
She
Why
never-
are you here?
She never talks to me.
Why are
When
you
she
here?
does, when she does, I'm thinking, what? You talking to me? Who else is in here?
Like you're not a part of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she has her evil moments, as she calls them. You know.
Is that what she calls them?
Well, yeah. Well, no. Well, I mean, I kind of.
I love your mom.
I kind of coined that, but I remember one time, like when they got into a little verbal tussle at some point, and Grandma was like, "Oh, apologize to him for me. I was being evil. Tell him I'm sorry for being evil."
Oh, she did.
Really? She did? Oh. Oh, she must have had a doctor's visit.
Probably.
And I did take her.
She said apologize to them. She wasn't going to come out and apologize herself.
No, she wanted me to do it. I know you do it.
Well, I love your mom.
That's funny.
That's great.
Oh my! I never knew that.
I accept that apology too. I accept
I
that.
accept
Yeah,
that
I
one.
would
That's
accept
pretty.
that 'cause
That's
no
pretty
getting out of them.
great. I wouldn't have even expected that.
No.
Yeah,
She
was. Yeah, she was sorry. She was sorry.
That'd raise me up out of a casket if I heard that.
That's funny. I appreciate that.
Yes,
though.
I do too. It was to me. That's like, I'll take anything she gives me.
She was mean that day.
Driving Miss
Yeah.
Daisy.
She was.
Yeah,
She was like, I had an evil streak. That's like an evil moment.
I guess so. Yeah.
Wow. Because she was like, I'm not talking to you. I was like,
I go,
wow.
"But I'm talking to you, and that's my wife. You don't talk to these people like that.
I'm not even talking to you. You're always butting in. It's like, you see, it's family.
Because I disagree. Yeah. I ain't taking you to the doctor.
She's like, well, apologize. She had to have felt bad.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. I think.
Well, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to them too.
It doesn't matter. You still hurt our feelings.
She goes, oh, she saw the calendar, and you're right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love her.
This is
I
just-
love her.
This is just our family.
Yeah, it is.
It's our family, but we love each other. So yeah. But yeah.
Well, Miss
it's-
Wanda's
this
a good
is
girl.
great.
Miss Wanda is a loving person.
She is.
Yeah, she
really.
is.
Deep down, she is.
Yeah. If she wasn't, like, I wouldn't be the person that I am, I don't think. And Tristan wouldn't be who he is because, of course, I raised him. And,
You're a little Wanda. I mean, you're starting to look like her. You act like her. A little bit,
I don't think that that's a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing at all.
But, I have my moments, of course.
I love it. I love watching you guys in the moment, watching you argue and kid each other. I love it. I keep forgetting to record it. If I could just record
It is pretty funny.
Yeah,
It is.
pretty funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
But
and Tristan are always laughing in the background.
Well, I have to get it on video one day.
Yeah.
Tristan comes home from work. You wouldn't believe what happened today.
Well, especially, yeah. I'll actually have to record a phone conversation. Like when we're on, video call with your Aunt Tracy and Mom's in the background with her hand on her hip just talking and
Yeah.
Smiling.
just like I'll have to actually record that video call because Mom is just in the background just antagonizing us for no reason.
Yeah,
It's just like, why are you there?
I like how she comes out. You be in the kitchen, she comes out of her bedroom.
Like Pac-Man.
Like Pac-Man.
It's like, why are you here?
And then leaves the same way.
She just comes out of
love it.
there. She
I
just
love
comes
it.
out of there
Yeah.
just to see what I bought.
Yeah.
And then
Well, you do this. You do the same thing.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
Little Wanda.
How do I do? When do I do that?
What do you mean?
When do I do that?
You mean like just come out to see what somebody got or something?
Yeah.
You do that to me all the time.
When?
I mean, there's so many that I've lost count. It's just a normal occurrence. It's not something I keep track of, but
I don't recall. I'm sorry. I think you're wrong.
What I like is when you all three come in from shopping and you all three bought the same thing and you're putting it in there. That's classic. I mean,
That is genetic.
yeah, it's always cheese.
yeah, cheese. Or sauce.
Yeah, ranch.
Yeah. And you don't 3 different kinds of ranches, but it's all ranch. I mean,
It's all the same ranch. Somebody might buy a chipotle, like ranch or
Yeah.
spicy ranch or something,
I love it.
or it's ranch and taco sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, that too.
There was like 3 jars of taco sauce or marinara, ranch, marinara, and taco
Taco
sauce.
sauce. Yeah.
Those are the 3 sauces.
I love watching the dog. The dog would be in my lap looking at all 3 of them, and she looks at me like, "What the heck is
Who is gonna cook
you
something
see this?
today?
Yeah, which one's gonna cook today?"
I know mommy's cooking something in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our family.
Yeah,
Sorry.
right.
What did Travis tell you a long time ago? Whenever we first met, he told you, he said, "Welcome to the black family."
Welcome to the black family, man.
Hello.
You don't want to marry Shantae. She was caught stealing chicken out of the Walmarts. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. He said. I told your mom what he said, and she goes, "It wasn't chicken, it was cigarettes."
But still,
Are you sure? Are you sure you never stole chicken ever out of Walmart? You had to
I never did.
Not
No.
not even once.
No, I never stole chicken. That's such a stereotype.
No,
Cigarettes
I mean,
and frikes.
that's a,
And she still won't go back there.
No, I
won't go back
will
there.
not.
She was a teenager.
No.
I go, "Come on, let's go in there."
come on, they're not gonna remember you.
I would never go back in.
It would be so funny if they did.
I
though.
know,
I
that would
told
be.
you.
I
35
told
years
you,
ago.
don't come back in here and call the cops right now.
30
See?
years ago.
No, I will never go
Oh.
back into Frikes.
Come on, the statute of limitations.
I don't care. I'm not.
What's the statute of limitations on stealing cigarettes?
I have no idea. This is Franklin County, Missouri. I don't know. They can make up their own rules. Reminds me of Mayberry.
Hey,
I
hey.
don't know.
This is Shantae Bunch. This is Shantae Lamarck. Lamarck. She used to be Lamarck.
Yes.
Oh, check it out, man.
No, not
She
going back
stole-
in
She
Frikes.
stole cigarettes.
Not going back. Brings back flashbacks. I don't even want to go back there. Just-
Wait, so
I
how
won't
did
go
you
back.
do it? So like,
Oh
cause
my God.
Yeah,
Gosh,
that's
I'm
what I
not-
want to know.
no,
How do
'cause-
you steal a carton of cigarettes?
because they're behind the counter.
Yeah.
Right. So walk us
They
through
weren't-
this.
they
wait,
weren't-
wait. Just walk us through the whole scenario,
Oh
if
my
you can.
gosh, no.
If you can remember.
She's so long armed and long legged, she probably reached right over there, grabbed, shut.
They,
Come on, what did you ride your bike up there or something? How old were you first of all?
Yeah, nah.
How old were you?
I am not going to go back through this.
How old were you when this occurred? 17.
Yeah.
You can get over.
I was like 17 or 18.
Okay.
Yeah. They didn't have they didn't have cartons of cigarettes behind the counter then. They were on the shelves.
Oh, they were just on the show. You could
Yeah.
just take
But
them. Oh.
because of
Yes.
you, they put it behind the counter.
Yeah, it is because of you.
Because of you.
Probably yes. Yeah. And I just got off the bus and I wanted a cigarette, so I walked up to
The
Frikes.
school bus?
Yes. No, the city bus in Little Union, Missouri.
What a gangster. Surprised you didn't do a crip walk on the way in there.
Oh, the shame.
Oh,
the
the shame.
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 But no, that's my past.
That's hilarious, though.
Why?
What kind of cigarettes were they?
Oh, they were actually Newports.
Newports, I knew it. I just didn't want to say
They
it.
were.
I didn't want to
wait,
sound bad, but I
I
was
think
was
yes,
thinking
I think
Newports.
they were Newports. Yes, I think they were. And I was actually
Oh,
they
gosh.
actually picked me up in the police car from Frikes.
What?
They did. They did. They called the police. They put me in the back of the police car from Frikes, and they took me to the police station, and they put me in a holding cell in the,
Oh, really?
the local police station. Yes, they did. And they let me go on my own recognizance. They held me there. They did. They held me there. And the city, the
Barney
city,
nipped it in the bud, didn't he?
the city police station. Yes, they did. Right across from the annex building.
Was Otis there?
They did.
Otis comes
did.
walking in, locks himself in.
They did. You know where the annex building was.
Yes.
You know where the annex building
Yes.
was. Yeah, that's
I
where
remember where the old jail used to be.
they
the
held me
courthouse.
in there. And then they were like,
Yeah.
well, You admitted, we caught you. And we're just gonna let you go. It was just a scare tactic thing.
Yeah.
And then
Trying
they
to teach you a lesson.
teach me a lesson, and then they were like, and then I went home, and then mom was. So I go home, and then mom was like, "Where you been?" Because I had been gone for. I had been gone for hours, and so
I told you to get butter.
and mom was like, "Where the hell you been?" I was just like, I was just at a friend's house.
Wait, you didn't tell her?
Yeah, until mom didn't know for a long time, until I got like a certified letter from in the mail saying like I owed this fine, and she was like, "What the hell were you doing stealing cigarettes?" It's just like, then I got my ass chewed, and then I had to do like some financial management course stuff and paid a fine. It was just yeah. So yes, of course.
They didn't want to let you go.
Yeah.
You were a gangster.
Yeah, it was so stupid. So lesson
I mean,
lesson learned.
Cigarettes must have been $2-3 back then.
Yes. Yeah.
But I didn't work.
$1.50.
I didn't work.
Couldn't scrounge up some quarters or something.
No. I was lazy. I was not going to work. Okay, and this is what's going to segue into our topic today, which is going to be addiction, because I was addicted to drugs too.
So
I was
those
doing
cigarettes
drugs.
led to
Yeah,
drugs.
nothing goes better with drugs than cigarettes.
I was doing
Oh,
drugs
God.
in
This is
high
good.
school, and it leads to behaviors where you don't think rationally.
Look where you're
Yes,
at.
That's for sure.
So yeah, you make stupid choices, right?
Yeah.
So this is what leads to this.
I love how she guided all that to addiction,
Yeah.
Where does it?
which is what she was wanting to talk about right in the very beginning.
Well, we had a good opening, so this is where
Yep,
we're going.
This is a good one.
You know?
Shantae stealing cigarettes.
Well, you guys asked me to elaborate, so we go
You
down.
did.
Well, yeah, no, I appreciate that.
So
Yeah.
whenever you go into my mind, this is the path you take through Shantae's mind. And this is where you end up.
I'm amazed.
There's always going to
Amazed.
be a lesson learned. And when you go through my mind.
Yeah.
Well,
So
they knew you were a sweetheart. Me, they would have put me in jail, kept me there.
I was like,
Oh yeah. You really laid it on.
Were people messing with you in there?
no, I was by
Nah,
myself.
Just by
on this-
herself. Yeah.
on this, I remember sitting.
Was that-
remember sitting in this cell. I was like, ew. I was like, there's stains on this. I remember thinking there are stains on this.
Tell us about the stage, Shantae.
Whatever mat.
Were they brown? Were they brown stains?
Some of it, I didn't even know, like splatters of something. It was
Okay, yeah.
gross.
Okay, I know what they were.
Oh,
Can you see your mom sitting in there? Ew.
I was just
All
like,
bougie.
like,
Ew.
oh my gosh, are they gonna let me out of here? I was like, oh
Did
my
they
gosh.
feed? Did they feed you?
No, I wasn't there. Like,
Did they
I
feed you?
wasn't there.
Oh, they should have.
For I wasn't there for like. I'm glad that you guys find this so funny.
No, I was actually curious if they had like
Yeah.
a
Oh, I'm
PB&J
curious.
Oh,
sandwich.
Johnny thinks this is hilarious, and it's not. It was
I
very.
can just see her mom sitting there. Oh Lord Jesus, I'm so sorry.
No, you know what I was thinking? I was like, I'm so stupid.
I'm so lost.
I was like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
And then I was sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, why didn't I just go bum a cigarette? But in the moment, you're not thinking that. You're thinking, could get away with it. Why are you laughing?
I can just see. She is a Shantae.
Yeah, did you run away or did you like walk slowly?
Yeah,
what was the
I walked.
strategy?
No, I walked slowly.
Taking your time.
God.
Buy a piece of gum.
If
stand
you,
in
if you
line.
would have ran, you would have not gotten caught. You were a
No.
track star, weren't you?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't
Yeah.
a track
Well,
star.
you ran track, didn't you?
Yeah.
I did, but I wasn't a track star. I wasn't that freaking. I was a smoker. What
yeah.
made you think I could run fast?
That's true. That's true too.
Why do you guys want to keep dragging me down this
No,
rabbit
no,
hole?
no,
Oh, we're
I'm
just interested.
I just want you to paint the picture for me.
Yeah.
That's all. You've painted the picture.
What? You're like, my gosh, my mom. I never knew any of these things
No,
about
I
her.
knew that. I knew that.
You're gonna see me in a completely different light now.
No, I knew. I knew that.
Oh no.
That's not. I don't. That's not. No.
Goes
No,
all your
I think-
credibility, huh?
I know. What the heck, man? No, but I didn't. I tried to be as inconspicuous as possible. Because you always kind of look in the aisle, you make sure nobody's around, and but then it's like, I think in a way I kind of knew I was caught, but was still trying to just seem nonchalant. But it, just maybe I'm gonna get away with this.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I could sell these at school.
I wasn't trying to sell anything at school. I was gonna smoke
That's
them
what I would
cigarettes.
have thought. If I grabbed a carton of cigarettes, I would have been selling them at school.
No, I was gonna smoke them. But anyway, so that's all right. Mute him.
It's a great story.
Mute him. Mute him.
What'd I do?
Because you keep laughing.
No, it's just
I hate you guys.
I love you so much. You're such a good girl. Even though you did still try
I'm just
so
gonna
hard.
sit here and not say anything until they get this out of their system.
no. It was a good story. It's come on. It's funny when you look back at it. It's gotta be.
It's
It
kinda-
doesn't. It's very traumatic for me, and it's a place I don't like to go down and talk about.
She was traumatized. Oh my gosh.
I recognize your trauma. I will not laugh at it any longer.
I wasn't laughing at the trauma.
You're laughing. You're trying not to laugh right now.
I'm not laughing. I think it was serious. I love your mom so much. I love your mom so much.
I love you too.
Oh, I love you. Even at your expense, we love you. That was definitely your expense. Poor thing. Ugh. Phew. Okay, addiction. Let's talk about it. You want to talk about addiction? Let's talk about addiction. Phew. Okay. Serenity.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing.
Serenity now.
Nope, I'm not saying nothing.
Nope. She's mad. You're still my girl, right?
I knew that this podcast episode was going to be the two of you together. I told you guys before,
No, we're not-
you
we're
guys were going to be
not.
ganging up on me.
We're not ganging up on you.
On you. We're
No.
talking.
Because you keep driving it. You're like, and then what happened?
I was
I said, and then what happened?
He does.
I was-
Then what happened?
I was genuinely
what happened?
curious what happened, how the whole situation went.
That's right.
So now you know. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we please get to my topic?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, your turn.
Okay, so I want to ask the question.
Okay.
How do you define addiction?
My zipper.
Your zipper being up has nothing to do with addiction. So how do you
In
define
the habit, finding out down all the time.
how do you define addiction? I want to hear Tristan's perspective.
On addiction?
I want to hear how he defines it because he is younger.
How do I?
And sometimes people that are younger have a different definition of how they define what addiction is.
I don't think I have a different definition of what the general definition is. I don't really look at it differently from anyone else.
But how do you define what addiction is?
How do you define what addiction is?
Define addiction.
My God, it's such a broad question.
Yeah.
It's not really.
No. You can be addicted to anything.
Yeah,
But when you hear the word addiction, what comes to mind?
Drugs.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
or just or dopamine, like because really
Yeah.
what you're chasing is dopamine. Like a lot of things give you a dopamine hit, whether it's your phone or drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's really what you're chasing.
Dopamine release.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's what every drug gives you. That's what every time you get a notification on your phone. You know.
Bing.
Yeah.
Like the reward system, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And when you're in addiction, you're hijacking that reward system. You're getting unearned rewards.
Kickstart.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So whenever, just because, I'm I've studied addiction a little bit. Like the scientific, just come from a scientific definition is how we define it in my field, is just like a chronic relapsing disease.
A chronic relapsing?
Yes.
That's when you're hooked.
But wouldn't that be a definition of addiction?
That'd be addiction.
Yeah.
You're hooked on something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chronically relapsing.
Mm-hmm.
Chronic relapse. Yeah. Okay, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever that is. So that would be like defining
No,
what addiction is, right? And so so when you think about like dopamine, right? The brain naturally releases dopamine. The brain naturally manufactures it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We make it, right?
Yeah.
So whenever you introduce alcohol, drugs, any type of substance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like think about it, whenever you eat, have sex, sleep, anything naturally that you're supposed, like the brain, because the brain is a learning organ. So then the brain is like, okay, this is what I need. I'm supposed to have this, and this is why I need to make dopamine, right?
Yeah.
It's naturally what the body needs.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you introduce just using alcohol and illicit drugs, right? So the brain is thinking, oh, wow, okay, so this feels good. So then it's thinking the body needs this. So then it's releasing more dopamine than it's supposed to, right? It gives you this rush. So when you drink alcohol, when you use cocaine, heroin, things like that, the brain it's getting this rush of dopamine more than the body naturally is supposed to make, right? So therefore, the brain is thinking that the body needs it. It's supposed to have it. Which is unnatural, right?
Yeah. Well, you just get used to an unnatural amount of dopamine.
Right. But whenever people don't get, you take the drug away, the substance, right? You take the alcohol, you take the drugs away from it. It's not releasing.
Yeah. Now you're
that much dopamine.
Yeah, you feel like
Yeah.
your body. It feels like you're missing something.
You're missing something. Yes.
Yeah.
The brain is like, well, what's going on, right? So like whenever people get sober, this is where they feel kind of flat, maybe depressed.
I've been clean almost 6 years.
Because the body's not making, the brain it's like it's depleted.
Yeah.
The dopamine is depleted. It's not, and it takes a while for the brain to kind of get back to making normal.
I haven't taken a drug in 6 years, but when you said the word cocaine, it's like, think, there was a little dopamine just by hearing that.
Yeah.
It don't being this clean this long, now I don't go out and look for it. It's like,
no.
It's like, but when you said cocaine, it's like, ding.
Yeah.
Well, that can be that trigger.
Or it's just like a curiosity.
I remember, in my head, cocaine. I still know the effects of it. I'm like, oh, what? Sounds good.
Well, I was a cocaine addict. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't get it doesn't perk me up. I think maybe because I've talked about it for so long in a different capacity that it just doesn't have that effect. We're like, ooh, I'm like peaked by, but it's, but I get like if you talk to somebody else about it, but you have to remember that, and I always tell people, it's like, you have to remember that your brain is, because they're like, I don't feel joy or happiness. They don't enjoy things. When they get sober, they don't enjoy things that they used to enjoy.
Yeah, because your brain isn't releasing the necessary chemicals for you to enjoy things.
Right. Well, that's because they're not getting the flood of dopamine that they were getting from the drugs.
Yeah.
Because their body was not, your brain is not supposed to be releasing that much dopamine.
Yeah, not all at once.
Not all at once. No, it's not supposed to be doing that. No.
Yeah.
It was the dopamine it was releasing before you introduce drugs or alcohol, or any other type of, illicit substance, into it is, it's unnatural, or any type of synthetic substance, K2 or bath salts or whatever else. I mean, you're not supposed, the brain is like, what the hell is going on? Is playing off of these different
But
neurotransmitters in the brain and receptors, and it's just
yeah.
it's unhealthy.
Well, yeah, it's unhealthy if you abuse it, for sure.
Well, people don't addicts. Well, we'll get into like the I don't want to get into the predisposition.
What's predisposition?
Or genetics for addiction.
Mm-hmm.
There's the debate if people believe that there is if there is alcoholism or addiction in the family, if you will have a predisposition to also develop alcoholism or addiction yourself. There may be a higher risk. It does not mean that you will become addicted to the same substance. Like, I mean, I knew family that, everybody in that family drank. There's a higher risk. It doesn't mean that there may be a family member who doesn't become an alcoholic, but there's a higher probability that they may become.
Well, yeah, that's why a lot of people who come from families like that do their best to avoid it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they
for
see the
anything,
behaviors.
for gambling.
Yes.
Gambling's a really bad one too.
Yes.
Where,
Mm-hmm.
people pass down gambling addictions. And people, and even if they stay away from like going to a casino or whatever, gambling like that, they'll gamble in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Gambling goes hand in hand with addiction, like with alcoholism and drug addiction too.
Mm-hmm.
Along with sex addiction, pornography.
Yeah.
Yeah. All these other behaviors. And this is where people can cross addict too. So maybe they can co-occur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One feeds the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just always a, substance addiction. It can be in other forms.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can be addicted to
eating,
anything.
Shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And eating's got to be a hard one for people because you have to eat. You have to eat.
Yeah, you have to eat, but it's more or less about moderation.
Yeah.
Self-control,
but it's hard. But it's hard to do.
But there's something in the brain. Is there a chemical imbalance?
Well, a lot of people just become addicts through trauma too.
Yeah, where you live.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't mean
to.
That's why you go, like, if you just look at rap music and all the gangster rappers and rappers that come from the streets, they all talk about drinking codeine, which is like cough syrup, and taking Percocets and all that.
Yes.
They grow up in a terrible environment. And they're constantly, people are dying around them and their friends are dying. And that's the only way they know how to cope with it.
How to escape it.
Yeah.
How to escape life on life's terms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it could be more of the nature versus nurture debate then.
Well, they both can play a part. It just depends on the person. Some people grow up they're rich and they have everything. They can have anything and they still end up being drug addicts. Maybe, and that's also because they have access to anything.
Very true.
Too.
Yes.
But
you can be in pain so much, you want that to go away. You'll do anything to make it go away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
And it does make that pain go away for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have met people that have never touched any sort of drug or anything in their life, and they have gone to the doctor and got hooked on pain medication.
Yes. Yep.
And
that
then
happens all the time.
developed it that way.
Back pain.
And never even thought about it, but they just want the pain, like physical pain, to go away, and they get hooked that way. I've met people that have never drank anything. They became later too, like they never drank a lot when they were younger, and then sometimes people will develop an addiction to alcohol as they get older, or whenever they lose a spouse, due to grief, sadness, loneliness. It's more emotional. And when people retire and they get older, they're alone. They don't have anything to do. They will drink, and then they will become alcoholics. I mean, it's not, so sometimes there's a lot of different factors
I think
And
the
how that-
root of all those things is vulnerability.
Mm,
Anytime you
mhm.
find yourself like really vulnerable like that, whether you've just gone through some trauma or
Mhm.
you're in a terrible environment, or even if, your whole family's addicts, that you're vulnerable to being an addict.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah, I think that's a good point to make. Yeah. Very interesting. I love your point of view. See, that's why I like to bring these
Pretty
up to
good.
Tristan, because sometimes I can only see things one way, and I always love to get your perspective.
Well, I appreciate it.
Because sometimes I just have
Smart.
an old way of thinking,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, yes, for sure, Mom. You're old. Yep, got that right. Okay,
kidding.
so another point. It's okay. You can say it. Do you have any other thoughts before I move on to my next point, Johnny? Do you have any other thoughts on addiction?
No.
Okay. So, what is the difference between abstinence versus sobriety? So, abstaining is kind of just like you're removing a substance, right?
Yeah.
So when we look at abstinence, it's abstinence is not sobriety. But do you think people get the two confused?
What's the difference?
Abstinence not doing it.
Right.
Sobriety or clean time is going through what do you call it, like AA or NA meetings, I think.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's how you stay clean.
Yes.
Abstinence is quitting, not going around it.
Yeah. Yes. Abstinence is kind
Sober.
of like that building block, right? So like you have to have abstinence in order to begin sobriety, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of
You
like
can't do
the
it. You can't do nothing. You just can't do it. That's abstinence. Up, can't do that no more. I'm on probation. Stuff like that.
Mhm.
Up, can't do it no more. You just got to quit.
Yeah.
And sobriety and clean time is
Mhm.
is a constant work.
Yeah. It's working a program
Working a program, yeah.
of recovery.
Or like I moved to Florida. I got away from Missouri.
Mhm.
I don't look for that. I'm not out at 3:00 in the morning.
Mhm.
I don't worry about, No, I like what I have here. As boring as it can get sometimes, I still like being here.
Yeah.
I mean, Missouri, I'd been out getting high.
Mhm.
I have to be careful when I go to Missouri.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. But that's when you stay close to
But that's triggers.
Me.
There's triggers there. There's,
Yeah. You have to be careful.
Yeah. Out here, when you get an MRI, that's a trigger. That's
The
only time.
contrast.
Yeah.
The contrast.
Yeah, that's a trigger.
Because it makes you feel a certain way,
Oh,
and it takes you back, right? It takes
does.
you back
It takes
mentally,
you right back.
right?
But you got to know, but through sobriety and through NA and being clean, to me, it's clean time. Sobriety's like not drinking, but drinking's still a drug. Alcohol's a drug. So it's clean time for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just, if I got a problem, I'll call somebody.
Yeah.
If I can't talk to you guys or something, I know I can call somebody and they'll stay there and talk to me till I get through, till it gets over. Now I'm going to be able to see a bunch of guys and do things with them. I'll have something to do on Saturdays.
Which is great.
Yeah.
You need to have that connection with people.
Some nice guys, some nice, good guys. They could probably be very good friends that
Mm-hmm.
I'll have for the rest of my life here in Florida.
And that's what you need is connection.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm so happy. Yay! You'll be out of my hair.
I'll be out of here. But
Just saying.
these people at Tays' house, it was beautiful. I mean, these guys are good guys. I mean,
Yeah. What are you looking up, Tristan?
Oh, nothing.
Listen, you're supposed to be. What are you doing?
Nothing. Jesus.
he's just sitting over there looking
I
pretty.
think he's just texting somebody. Okay, so
I can't get the car today.
I'm sorry, gosh, they keep talking. I don't know what they're doing. So Like you're supposed to be focused. Okay,
I'm gonna
so
check
I'm
my
listening.
Bitcom.
yeah, this is like Bitcoin. What's going on? All right, so but that is what it is. So abstinence, and I do want to make one point about abstinence. Like I said, it's the building blocks. You'd have to have abstinence in order to get to sobriety. What is important, and I always like to bring this point up when I'm working with clients, is dry drunk syndrome. For people who don't know what dry drunk syndrome
That
is you've never heard of dry drunk syndrome?
no.
If you go to AA and if you go to AA meetings or anything, it's a term that is an AA term. Um, Dry drunk is when somebody is abstaining, but they are still really not wanting to be sober. So they're
Oh,
not
yeah.
changing they're not changing any emotional behaviors, they're not really changing routines. They're just really white knuckling it. So they're not changing attitudes, personality, nothing like that. They're not working a
They're
program,
at the very beginning. They don't
you
know.
know.
Yeah, I would imagine that
But
nobody at the beginning wants to be.
but that's not.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: it's not them at the beginning. They could go through years of this, and they could go through months and years of this.
Okay.
And it's not anybody in the beginning. Yes, is going to really struggle. We're not talking about during the beginning. We're talking about people can go through dry drunk syndrome for a long time, and they never really change those behaviors, or they don't want to change them because really they don't want to even be sober. And sometimes this can occur with people. I'm not saying with everybody. It can occur with people who maybe are being forced to get sober for whatever reason.
Like probation.
Well, it could be through probation. It could be it could be through a lot of
Wife threats.
different things.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be family pressures. It could be
Yeah.
a lot of different things, and they're either just not ready, or people that could be like, I think I really do want to, but they just are not. They're not changing the behaviors. They're just putting the drink down. They're just removing the substance, and they're not changing any behaviors. They still have, so they could still be dishonest. They could still be, nasty to people. The same behaviors that are associated with their substance use. It's just the substance is gone. So it'd be the same thing like,
Well, then
if I
maybe-
was using, but I wasn't changing any. I just got rid of the drug, but I was still engaging in the same behaviors as if I was using. That's what dry drunk syndrome
Well,
is.
sometimes maybe that's just that person. Sometimes maybe
Yeah.
they're just a terrible person. And maybe it doesn't always, the drug doesn't always contribute totally to that. It definitely contributes a little bit, but that could just be that person also.
That could be an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, some people are just like
I
that.
don't.
It's like that, yeah.
I think sometimes that's a cop out.
What?
I-
There's some people that are just.
there's people that are like that
jerks.
without drugs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They might have been like
I
that
think-
before drugs.
yeah.
They might be like that after drugs. I'm not saying that's everybody. That's probably not most of them. But some of
Right.
them, for sure. They
Their
could just,
personality.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, it could be, but I mean, I don't know. It could be. I'm not denying that it can't, but
Or it
I
could even
mean,
be like a drug-induced personality disorder or some sort, if that exists.
Tick
Which-
syndrome.
Well,
sure
it could
does.
be. It could be a psychosis for sure, a drug-induced psychosis.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think that.
It could be a drug-induced psychosis, but that's usually whenever somebody's under the influence of a substance.
No, but that can last also. Psychosis from yeah, that happens too.
Yeah. But it would not last 4 months or years.
I don't think that's true. I think some people through extreme drug use end up being schizophrenic. But a lot of those people are predisposed to it. They have a family member that might have been schizophrenic, but
It's a possibility that it could cause that, or if they have schizophrenia, it could have possibly been undiagnosed and they were self-medicating the symptoms because it was undiagnosed, or it could have been caused. But usually with schizophrenia, it's something that's undiagnosed because it's something that is genetic. It's something that's within the family
yeah.
with schizophrenia.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
I
I
knew,
don't know.
I knew
Yeah.
people that when they got high, they just drove you nuts. You wanted to kick them out of the car, you know. And there's some of them that's just off the wall. You think they're crazy, and they'll do a line, and they're just normal as can be. It's like, wow.
Well, that's because people had ADHD. So if people have ADHD and they use methamphetamine, it levels them out.
Yeah, real.
Yeah, like they're normal. Like
Yes, they're normal. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why people would be on Adderall, but some people will abuse Adderall and the doctors won't keep them on it. And so they will use methamphetamine.
Yeah, it's
it's
basically the same.
the same thing.
Yeah.
But whenever they're on Adderall, they abuse it
Mm-hmm.
because they're only prescribed a certain number, right? But they will supplement it with methamphetamine. I've seen that so many times. But yeah, so if you've seen people that have done that, like they're bouncing off the wall and they're kind of blah, 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 but they give them a line and then they mellow out.
Mm-hmm.
They have ADHD or ADD, you know? Yeah, that's what's happening there.
Yeah, I knew someone
Yeah.
would do a bump. Let's go look for copper.
Yeah, I mean, it's
There's
just,
a dumpster. Look out.
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but yes, I have seen that where, and it's sad, but yeah, I mean, but what I have found that's very sad about it is that I don't think they don't want to be doing that. Like they want their medication to work. They don't want to be supplementing it with the meth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be off of it,
Yeah.
but they want to feel normal
Yeah.
on their medication.
Yeah.
And yeah, but they're also in an addict mentality too.
Yeah.
So it's just the struggle. It's
Yeah.
sad to see it. Yeah. It is. It's hard. It's hard to see. But yes. So just look up and research dry drunk syndrome, but it's a very interesting
Something.
that's a very interesting concept.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is very a real thing.
I feel so educated right now.
I'm surprised you haven't heard. You've been to AA. I'm surprised you haven't heard of dry drunk syndrome. But yes, so for our listeners out there, if you are not aware of dry drunk syndrome, definitely research that. I encourage people to do that. So yeah, and so sobriety is working a program, connecting with other people in recovery. You know, AA, NA, smart recovery, whatever that is for you. Okay. And then I want to talk about some keys to living a productive life without depending on illicit substances. So it's on my phone and I can't get to it right now. So there were like 5 keys or concepts to kind of like, and this is according to SAMHSA. So this is like the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Association, but they talk about improving your physical health, improving your mental health, you know, doing some basically exercising,
Oh, really?
eating, engaging in self-care.
Yeah.
So some self-care things that I encourage people to do. I encourage them to do physical self-care, which is like walking.
Oh,
I try to get Johnny to do this. Walking,
my hips hurt after I do that.
you know, cycling, you know,
Cycle.
swimming, things like that. Kind of things that get your heart rate up and, you know, moving.
Mm-hmm.
Because whenever you're actively using, you don't move
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Or if people are using meth, you're usually going in circles in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really
In your mind.
Or if you're, I used to use,
I don't know.
I am in recovery, so I know. and if you are moving, you're going from one room to another, not really doing anything. You're not productive.
You're cooking, doing laundry, and cleaning the house at the same time.
But not really. It's kind
And
of
not getting nothing done.
not really. It's a different kind of productive. But you know, just kind of doing things where you feel accomplished at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
like you've done something.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've
Oh.
also encouraged people to do like spiritual self-care. So, you know,
Such as.
connecting with God.
Yeah.
Yoga, you know, I have some people like to do meditation.
Pilates.
Pilates, you know, yoga, that goes with exercise, but sometimes people get focused, recentered. I actually, mindfulness, And grounding techniques will help, especially if people are experiencing anxiety, especially in early recovery. Do you guys know what grounding techniques are?
Grounding.
Yes.
You mean literal grounding?
It's
Like,
grounding technique. So it's kind of being connected with your environment. So if you're really overwhelmed and anxious and just your mind is racing and you can't seem to get all your thoughts together, so you just go outside.
touch the grass.
I thought
You
that's what
something
draws.
that certain things you can touch. What can you smell? What can you see? Sometimes is it like, what can you taste? Like one thing you can taste.
It's just learning to be in the moment.
And in the moment, and then it's also
Yeah.
connecting with your five sense is connecting with your senses is
Yeah.
what it is. And that kind of helps you ground your thoughts and just kind of just focus on the present and kind of get recentered.
You're right.
So I encourage a lot of people to do grounding techniques.
I think that comes natural. I mean, when I came out here, I mean, I ain't doing drugs anymore or anything, but I noticed, man, the sky is bluer.
Mm-hmm.
It smells a lot better. The smells are better. You notice this. It's like, wow, there's a
Helps a lot.
earth out here,
I think it helps a lot. What do you guys think about grounding techniques?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. I
I don't
practice
do it all.
that.
I don't wake up and go, okay, grounding. I'm going to go outside and sniff the air. I don't do that. I mean, sounds like
Talking
work.
about if you feel anxious, like overly anxious.
Yeah, I do that. I definitely do that.
Yeah.
Just try to
Oh, yeah.
just staying in the moment, like not really paying attention to your thoughts too
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
And just letting them they come in and they go out and
Yeah.
they're gone.
Yeah.
And that definitely helps.
It does.
For sure.
Deep breathing helps too.
Yeah.
That ocean does it.
Ocean, yeah, like getting
Oh,
out in
yeah.
the ocean,
Everything goes
open
away.
spaces help.
Yes, ocean.
Yes, open spaces help. But I think it's just learn, and I think if you can use some of those techniques, physical, definitely paying attention to your physical health. Like I noticed ever since I got sober, I go to the doctor a lot more. That helps with, getting older too. But definitely, I never took care of myself whenever I was using. So I've had to focus a lot more on my physical health and taking care of myself. Okay. So yeah,
I've noticed that. I mean, when I was doing drugs, good grief, 10 years, I didn't go see a doctor at any time,
I never
You
did.
get clean. You get clean. Now it's like, I got to go to the doctor. I didn't know I had this the whole time. It's like, oh, no.
I think you recognize how you can live a productive life
Yeah.
without. You realize one thing I will say, and I know we're kind of going over time, but I know one thing that I recognize that's made my life more productive, being sober, is stepping out of my comfort zone and trying new things.
Yeah.
And finding new hobbies. And I always tell a lot of my clients that I'm like, just go find something new to do. And
Yeah.
they're like, I don't know what interests me. And it's like, that's the point. It's like, just go out and just find something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we do the art museums now. Like
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
that's
sometimes
nice.
you guys, Johnny's finally getting into it.
I like it.
Yeah, but I love it.
Yeah.
And it's just doing something different, and then you get exposed to new people, and then
Yeah.
just new things.
Yeah.
It's neat to watch
I
your
love it.
mom. It's neat to watch your mom just love something like this. It's kind of neat. Watch her.
I love it.
She absorbs it. I like it.
Hmm
I like watching her smile. She makes her smile. I like that.
Reading books. I started reading East of Eden.
I was just about to ask you if you've even opened it yet.
I did. Yes, I took it to the beach on Thursday when we went, and started reading it then, and then I read it the other night. So yes, and it is an interesting take on the Book of Genesis.
I looked for the movie on TV.
You don't want to, the book. You have to read the book, and it's yes. So I did actually start reading it. Yes, and I feel like I can get a lot more out of the book. It's funny. We were at the beach, and Johnny was like, "Oh my gosh, you read fast," because I'm like skimming it, and that's just like, yeah. And I mean, what I've read, it's really it's good. Yes, John Steinbeck's East of Eden, and it is a modern take on the Book of Genesis.
Yeah.
I found it on
Yes.
Prime Video, but I ain't paying no $3.50 for it.
No, and when you pay for that, it takes that out of my bank account. I just want to let you know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna watch East of Eden. Then.
Yeah, I want you to know that. Yes. So, any last comments on addiction? That's my topic for today. So, just there's ways. I just want to just say that it's a lot covered there, but it's just you can live a healthy and productive life even if you're in early recovery. I always tell people don't lose hope. It's
Right.
challenging in the beginning, and you just have to take it day by day.
One
And
day at a
sometimes it's one day at a time.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to break that day down and just take it the next 30 minutes or hour by hour. And, just get, just get through it. And
It does work.
it does work.
I mean,
Yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
think, I gotta have my mind on this every half hour. Okay, a half hour went by.
Mm-hmm.
Hour went by. But it's not like that. It's the more you abstain from it, the better it does get.
Yes, it really does. The best thing I ever did was get sober.
Oh yeah, best thing. I mean, yeah.
Best thing I ever did.
I never weighed this much. I love it.
And I'm telling you, people, my motivation was this one over here,
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
sitting right there, producing this podcast that I made him produce. And he was my motivation to get sober. I never got sober for him. I want to make that very clear. I did not get sober for my son. He was my motivation. But I got sober for me. And I got sober because I knew I had to make a change in my life, but he was my motivation to do that. So,
Shante was mine.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what it is, because I love him.
Well, thank you.
We just,
Yes, you always say thank you, thank you. Like he saved my life, and he didn't even know it. So do you have anything to add, Tristan?
No, I think you covered it all.
Yeah,
Those were some really good tips. Very informational, educational.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna steal cigarettes. I know.
I will never steal cigarettes again because I stopped smoking. I'm coming up on 5 years in August. It'll be 5 years I have not smoked a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very
that's good.
excited. Yes, so I'm happy. Yeah,
yeah,
I feel a lot better
You're a
too.
good girl.
Yeah.
And now I think my favorite thing to eat now is acai bowls.
Awesome.
I hope I'm not becoming addicted to those.
Asshole bowls.
Acai. I finally realized how. I think know how to pronounce them.
Yeah, acai. It's acai.
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 You were saying acai bowls before.
I don't go and tell
You know what an acai bowl is, Tristan?
Because I didn't know how to pronounce it. And
know what
Tristan was like, "You mean an acai bowl?" I was like, "What's an acai bowl?"
Carhartt.
They are delicious, and my friend Di is the one who turned me onto that. And I was like, that is the most freaking delicious thing I've ever eaten. And now I eat them all the time.
Di's a good girl. Hi, Di.
Hi, Di. But yeah, so that was
She's a good friend.
yeah, one of my best friends.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So that's all I got, and I'm sure we went longer on this one too. But
Oh, no, it's perfect. We're right in an hour.
oh, really? Oh, good. So I know some of ours have been really long.
Did
So,
I act
yeah.
all right? Was I okay?
You're fine. I'm sure whenever I play this back, you guys are going to be like,
Yeah, I gotta put the very beginning in there in the podcast.
why?
'Cause you haven't even seen. I'll show you afterwards.
Why is it? What is it on
doesn't-
there?
It doesn't matter. We'll see it later. Listen, this has been a great episode of the Tay and Tristan Hour, featuring Johnny. And
Yes, and I'm sure Johnny will be on some other ones as long as Tristan lets him be on it.
Maybe
that's-
not. Maybe not after this one.
no, you're fine.
Well, no, I think we'll try to get we'll try. We have to get Tristan's grandmother
gotta try
on.
to- we gotta try to-
think Tristan's gonna be the only one that's gonna be able to convince her, because
We'll see.
I can't. But we got to find a great topic for her, because you have to find
I
something.
think
for
we should
her.
do your childhood.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I think we should
Oh,
talk about
I am
all of
sitting
the.
on
I
that one.
think I will sit like over there and let Mom sit here, and then Mom can talk about how bad of a child I was and how much all of the gray hair that I gave her, and let her and Tristan just bash me. That is the only time that she will probably do this podcast. But she will talk about how, but she'll talk about like how much she loves me at the end. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
it'll end up positive. But
Yeah.
I'm sure she would. So
Yeah.
Oh, and I just want to say I have to do our whole thing at the end. So
Mhm.
do you want to do all of our
No, I
social
don't need
media
it.
stuff that we
I
have
don't need
going
it.
on?
You're so good at it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So we do have. I did get the TikTok page going, and it is the Tay and Tristan Hour page TikTok. That's what it is, plain and simple. Well, we're also still on Spotify, on Apple Podcast. We do have our YouTube channel, which is the Tay and Tristan Hour. And we are on iHeartRadio. Stop that. And we are also on Amazon Music. So, and we also still have our Instagram page, which is the Tay and Tristan Podcast. So, and I think that's all of our social media stuff. So I think we were all plugged in there.
Alrighty.
All right. So I think we're
Alright,
good.
yeah,
So
alright.
Johnny, do you have anything
No, I'm
last that you
good.
want to say?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, so I think we're good there. So
I'm good.
all right, everybody. So I hope.
Thank you guys for
good.
watching. Hopefully somebody learned something from this and maybe can help a few of you people.
All
out
right,
there
all
that need it,
right.
so.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.